Whoa! Welcome to the What's Our Verdict podcast, where we fashion ourselves cinematic judge and jury. My name is JJ Crowder. I'm here with my co-host, Alec Burgess.
Let's get it.
We appreciate you tuning in. Go ahead and hit that follow, subscribe, like, bell notification button. Tell a friend about us. Tell some luchadors about us and some wrestlers. We're okay with like normal wrestling, Greco-Roman wrestling.
We're ready to go pro.
Yeah. We're ready to go pro. Oh, good luck.
We're ready to go pro.
We've been trying to go pro for 3 years now. So if you haven't figured it out yet, we're week 2 into our
Guilty pleasures.
films.
And this is my guilty pleasure.
Yeah, this is one of Alec's guilty pleasures, and I can't wait to talk about it because we're going to get some two sides of a coin talk here. But Nacho Libre. It was released June 16th, 2006. It was written and directed by Jared Hess. It stars Jack Black, Ana de la Regura, Hector Jimenez, Darius Rose, Moises Arias, Diego Eduardo Gomez. I am butchering these names. I know that, and I apologize, but it's okay. Cesar Gonzalez and Enrique Munoz. Berated all his life by those around him, a monk follows his dream and dons a mask to moonlight as a luchador or a Mexican wrestler. They have that in parentheses because people don't know what a luchador is, I guess. Fair enough. I used to watch a lot of wrestling when I was a kid, so
absolutely.
I was like, I know what a luchador is. Okay, so I have to dive into this movie, and I have to preface it with the fact that I had never seen this movie before. And I know, don't fucking at me, people, like, because I realize this is one of those movies that a lot of people consider classics.
I wouldn't go that far.
Dude, I know. Well, maybe I should say that, like, a lot of my friends when I was a kid were like, and I say a kid, but when I was 25 fucking years old when this movie came out, a lot of my friends and some of their younger siblings were like, oh, this is hilarious. This is a great movie. And they all loved the previous movie. Like we were just talking about Hess's movie, like with Napoleon Dynamite, they thought that was the greatest thing ever. And I didn't enjoy that movie either. Again, don't fucking at me. Like, get away from me. I just don't enjoy that kind of humor. And this one's no exception, but I do have to, we would be remiss if we didn't talk about, with that disclosure, Jack Black is no question one of the funniest men ever. And I keep trying to get, like, when my beard gets really long these days, all that gray he's got in it, and the fact that he wears glasses, I got a little Jack Black looking shit going on, but I can't pull the mustache off like he does in this movie. So Jack Black's great, and he's the only reason this movie even entertained me at all watching it. So
this
kudos
movie
to Jack Black.
Does not work if Jack Black is not in the lead.
Oh yeah.
It does not work at all.
Yeah.
So yeah, 100% Jack Black is who makes this movie, and it's everything he does. He's very good with the like facial cues.
Yeah.
And so that is added comedy onto itself.
Yeah.
Because the lines that he says, they're funny, but it's the way he delivers them that is really what sells it.
That's fair.
To even, like, one of my favorite things that cracks me up, and it shouldn't because it's so stupid, is like when he slides the toast under Encarnacion's door.
Yeah.
And then, Nacho, he's late. Uh-huh. Just die because it's so funny.
Good Lord.
But it is so stupid.
Oh yeah.
Like, there really isn't a whole lot of intelligent comedy or anything in this movie. It is 100% like, hey, let's film Jack Black.
Yeah.
having a blast with it. I mean, he's got a great cast
Sure.
to support him, but without Jack Black leading this, it is even stupider than it is with him in control.
Oh yeah. Well, and let's get this straight. It's not like this movie broke the box office or anything, right?
I
Like,
don't know.
we're not talking about a movie that went out and crushed it. Now, it made more than it probably should have, because it was only made on a $35 million budget and it grossed about $100 million at worldwide. So, I mean, it made money. Not a ton, but it made money. But it's not like it broke the bank. But I will say that, I mean, this was pretty much the height of Jack Black, right? Like,
Yeah.
That the early 2000s was when he was really hitting his stride and just knocking it out of the park. Like, I'm pretty sure that's when Tenacious D was really taking off too. And like, yeah, he had some great stuff come out in the early 2000s and then he's consistent with his, I don't know. Jack Black's he's a staple, right? Like, the guy doesn't go anywhere. He's funny. And he pulls this movie off against all odds. Because, like I said, I'm watching this movie last night, and I'm like, the fuck am I watching? And I'm like, goddamn, Alec. I was like, it's a good thing this is like guilty pleasures, because the guilty on this is like strong. And I watch this going, fuck, this is so stupid. And then I would have a moment like something would hit, and I would be giggling my ass off for like 5 minutes while everything else is going on. I don't give a shit about it. Like, the moment, because you know what got me, and we'll talk about him again in a minute, but like Hector Jimenez, the guy that plays his sidekick, that fucker was crap. Every time he smiled all weird and shit, like, I would fucking die laughing. And then the part where the dude's daughter was like pulling him through the fucking hole in the wall, like, I was fucking dying. But I mean, the comedy's stupid. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not a huge fan of dumb comedy like this, but I had some moments where, much to my shame, I laughed.
It gets you,
Yeah.
and it's the odd ones that you don't think would, like the Eagle Powers.
He's fucking gagging on the egg, hanging from a fucking cliff. It's like, what is happening right now?
But it's those little things that are just so stupid, but they get you. Yeah. And it might be because every single joke in this movie is stupid.
Oh yeah.
To where these like are just stand out among the field of stupidity, but they get you and they sneak up on you, and you can cackle for days about it.
Yeah.
And that's part of the reason why it is a guilty pleasure. Is every single time I watch this movie, I laugh.
Yeah.
And it might not be at the same parts all the time. Like, something will hit me and I'll get it and just cackling. So every time I watch this movie, it's almost like I get a personal pick-me-up. Yeah. Right? So it's like, oh, okay, I could be a luchador. I could do it. Type of a feel. But it's always attracted me because it's like, okay, no matter how terrible of a day I'm having, if I watch Nacho Libre, I'm going to laugh. Right? But the fact that it is stupid is hilarious to me. Like, I love it.
And it is stupid. Like, dude, another one that got me that it shouldn't have gotten me is early on in the movie when he goes to pick up the chips. It's like, it's labeled orphan's chips. This fucker comes in and steals the guy orphan's chips, and they spill more than he steals. Like, what is happening right now? And this is, like I said, first time I've ever watched any of this movie except the trailer. So I have no idea what's happening. And I'm like, oh, look, it's the orphan's chips. That's nice. What the fuck is stealing their chips? And then it works perfect with later where he's like, I hate all the orphans.
I hate them.
It's great. It's great. It shouldn't be great. Like, I should be embarrassed.
Oh, no, it shouldn't be great at all.
Yeah. I died. Absolutely. But I think part of that too was, and again, you like the physical comedy a lot. Like we've talked a lot about that with
Charlie Chaplin
and other movies we've watched. Like and I like it too in a lot of ways. And this one got me a couple times. Like one of them that got me was that when they were popping the tires on his little moped thing, which was the weirdest looking thing. But they used this like fucking giant ass hunting knife on these little bike tires. And I don't know why that tickled me, but I was like giggling, going, you could have used a fork and popped those tires. But they got this big ass, like 8-inch blade. It was great. I was laughing.
And part of this like came from the fact that Jack Black is like the most athletic big dude out there, right? Like just the way he moves, you wouldn't think that he was as big as he was, but he can move. And so it's funny to like what gets me is they're racing down the road to like train.
Mm-hmm.
But he's moving.
Yeah.
And it just adds to everything that he does. To where I'm almost confident that Jared Hess just told Jack Black, "Hey, you're Nacho, and action."
Yeah. No shit. No shit.
Like when he revs up his little scooter.
Yeah. So stupid. I can't even.
It's so stupid, but it makes me chuckle.
Oh yeah. No, I get it. Yeah, no, Jack Black had so I was reading a little bit. He had a ton of improvisation, to your point. One of like the song he sings in the party was actually a complete and utter improv. Like he made up every bit of that, which not surprising now that we know what we know about Jack Black, but like, yeah, that was him completely improving that song. So yeah.
You'd never be able to tell he performed it flawlessly.
Yeah. Oh God.
Ramses is not dancing. He does not dance at the party.
I can't. And I hated it. Like, and the worst part was I was so excited for him to sing too, because like, I love Tenacious D and I love Jack Black as a singer. So like that's some of my favorite contents when he sings. So he starts singing and I'm like, yes. I'm like, and then he starts getting into it and I'm like, yeah, it's Jack Black. I'm like, why am I liking this? Like, stop it. You should hate this right now. Yeah. Yeah. And overall, I didn't love it. But like I said, there was just moments that it was like being on a fucking roller coaster. Like moments I'm like giggling and laughing, and other moments I'm like, Jesus, this movie's still going. And it's only an hour and a half long. It's not like this is a
feels
long movie,
longer.
but it feels really long after a while. I'm like, Jesus, it's still moving. And I laughed to myself because I kept checking the time and I'm like, dude, this movie's really short. Why does this feel so long?
Oh, yeah, there's stretches where it just drags.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of it has to do with like that party scene and kind of the scenes that surround it is where it really starts to kind of drag and slow down because you have this buildup of like, you know, their wrestling career where you have this little bit of montage and things like that. And then to end book it, you have him going out to live in the wilderness. And, you know, the big final kind of fight. And that middle part just is extra.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I did laugh too at like all of his costume changes. And then the fucking white boots. Like that shit was ridiculous. But you know what else drove me nuts though? To Jack Black, like this guy was Mexican and then he was Russian and then he was Italian for a minute. Like obviously Jack Black either struggled with keeping the Mexican accent or he was fucking around on purpose. And I don't think anybody will know, but there was like, I can't even remember the line, but it was probably like 20 minutes into the movie and I was like, what, we in fucking Italy now? Like what am I watching, Scarface? Like what the fuck is happening? And then it was just like, Yeah, it was great. And then again, there was another one later on when he was yelling at his partner, and I was like, God, he sounded like he was in a Russian mob right there. And I was like, this is, and then of course he had his moments where he went into that full Jack Black accent. Like that's all I can call it is the Jack Black. But yeah, like he had a hard time holding that accent for sure.
I wonder if it was because he kept laughing.
It could be.
My life is good.
Fuck. I can't. It's just, I should not laugh so hard at this movie.
You shouldn't, but you do. And it's one of the reasons why I enjoy it so much.
Dude, I'm telling you.
And I mean, it's just what also kind of gets me, I know we didn't have this anywhere to talk about, but the nicknames that they use in this.
Oh, God.
Little fat kid Chancho. And then his is Wado.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Well, and I laughed too because at one point he called him Chanchito, like he little Chanchito. I'm like, oh my God. Oh, shit.
But it's just, I mean, it's also part of like a little bit of Hispanic culture.
Sure.
Right? It's like that slightly insulting nickname.
Fair.
But every single time it's, look alive, Wado. I just there going.
Yeah. And by slightly offensive, you mean like they called the little kid a pig, like throughout the fucking movie. Yeah,
100%.
Yeah, like it's very, it's But then like the lines, I will give you that the one-liners in it are really good too. Like I had moments where it's like, Chancho, when you are a man, sometimes you wear stretchy pants in your room just for fun. Like, oh, that's not creepy at all. Like, what is happening? Oh shit. Or like the moment, like the little kid early on, he's like, can't we just have a salad? He brings him a salad and the kid's got the single tear rolling down his cheek. God. It's terrible.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
But it's so good.
Yeah. Yeah. Another one that got me pretty good was the letter, like hug, kiss, big hug.
Little kiss.
Little kiss. What the fuck is this happening? It just, Or when he gets mad at his partner because he's like, I don't like you because you believe in science. It's like, in fact, that's why we're losing. Like, we're losing because you're fat. Oh shit. There's some great.
So I mean, quotes. This is guilty pleasure of mine, but I don't have a lot to talk about because it's stupid.
Yeah,
like I don't recommend this movie to people I don't know well.
Sure,
because I have to understand first if you're gonna get the full viewing experience, or are you gonna look at me like I'm some sort of mutant? Which I didn't know you had never seen this before. So that is a new experience. Most people are like, oh yeah, I've seen it and I hate it. Or they're like, oh my gosh, let's watch it right now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was, it's just it's such a bad movie. I can't say any better than that. It's such a bad movie, but it is so funny.
Yeah.
For me anyway.
Yeah, well, and like I said, I think it did help me though, knowing going into it that I hadn't seen it before. So I was trying to watch it from the point of view of Alec. Like I'm like, why does Alec love this movie, right? So I have to watch it because I was skeptical going in. When I saw it on the list, I was like, maybe I'll just leave that off of Patreon. So Charles can't vote for it, but like I was like, no, I won't do that. I forced this guy to watch horror movies. I can watch Nacho Libre if they choose to make me watch it. But like, because I was like, I haven't seen it, but I watched it linking like, why is it that Alec would enjoy this movie? And I think that really helped me like laugh at some of the things that I normally would be like, that was dumb. But I couldn't help because I could just see your ass fucking cackling. You know what I mean? Like, and it really helped me later when we were talking before we recorded, where you were telling me that, because I never think about the fact that how much younger that you are than I am. So I mean, you're half my age, so you're like watching this going, I was a kid, I was a preteen or a teen, early teen watching this, and I'm like, dude, I was in my mid-20s. And I'm like,
different
I can't,
experience.
Yeah, way different. Yeah. So I mean, it really helped me to I enjoyed it more because I was watching it, trying to picture what it was that was making you laugh. And I could figure it out quick. Like there were parts that I'm like, oh, dude, Alec fucking loses his shit every time in this moment right here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Like I can only imagine, like at the end when he fucking jumps off the turnbuckle and goes into soaring eagle mode.
Yeah,
or
and you got the eagle call going in the background.
Yeah,
I tried to do that when I was. Yeah, Javier and I used to try and do that when we were younger.
Oh, I bet.
We never got the distance.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, that shit. I just was like, oh, he's losing his shit watching this right now because. Yeah, and I'm sitting there going, this is not funny, but Alec is losing it.
100%.
Well, and there's so many awkward parts to this movie too, like the whole relationship with Encarnacion. Like I'm like, this is weird because it's not like they're like, oh, it's cutesy and what. It's like they're fucking blatantly throwing it in your face that this monk has a crush on this nun, and the nun has a crush on the monk, and like they're actively talking to each other about if we weren't a nun and a monk. I'm like, this is weird. Like, I feel icky, and I don't feel icky about much. Like, it's giving me the ick right now for sure. This movie killed me. I will say, to Jack Black's credit, though, like the wrestling scenes were dope as fuck. Mm-hmm. To your point, like he is a bigger dude, and I can appreciate it because as a bigger dude, I was always that dude. I played softball and stuff in my older. After I got big in high school, I wasn't big, but after I got big, like I was still fast. So we go play softball, and people would be like, "Oh, look at this fucking
easy
ass." Yeah, exactly. And I'd hit a fucking rocket into left field, and they're like, "Oh, he's gonna stop it first." Bullshit! I might get a triple out of this bitch because I'm faster than you fucking think. I won't be able to breathe when I get to third, but I'll get there. So I appreciate the athleticism of a big old Jack Black and fucking throwing people around and hopping around because that shit isn't easy. Like just watching it, I'm like, ooh, my knees hurt just watching. Fuck. So that part was pretty, and I love the little people ones, like the ones that are like almost like lions or whatever the fuck.
Satan's minions or whatever.
Yeah. It was fucking great. That shit made me laugh. Like when they're just hopping around, fucking jumping on them and shit. Yeah. I was giggling my ass off during that whole entire scene.
Oh, 100%. And it really just, once again, puts into perspective, Jack Black can do it all.
Yeah.
Like, he went through everything in this movie, athletic scenes, singing, comedy, several accent changes. Like, he did it all.
Several accent changes. That's funny.
It's an hour and a half long of time.
Yeah.
Like, imagine if it was 2.5 hours long, JJ. How much more Jack Black could do with that time? Ooh.
I don't need that much of that Jack Black.
Nacho Libre 2.0.
No way. Dude, I think that might be the second time in my life I would ever leave a movie.
Nacho Libre goes to the WWE.
Oh God. Can't handle it. Oh man. I definitely understand why this was one of your guilty pleasures. But
right?
Yeah. And it's guilty. It's guilty. And I appreciate that.
When I go for a guilty pleasure, it's all in on the guilt.
Yeah. Well, these two movies have proven that. But this one's like, if we're talking all four guilty pleasures, I think you win with this one.
No, 100%. Because your movies, you can be like, oh, well, they're good.
I mean, don't get me wrong.
They're good. You know, there's an excuse for this. No.
Yeah.
If I'm watching this movie,
I
You're gotta
honestly
be
thought I was
really
gonna
close
top
friends.
it. Like I was shooting for the top with Rock of Ages, but like I think you got me on this
Yeah,
deal. Like
I
this
got
one
you.
was rough. This one is not fun. Like it's guilty that I feel ashamed. All right, let's rate this thing. I'll go first because it's your movie, so you'll bring it up. Dude, I had a hard time with this movie, and I knew I would, but I tried real hard, and I laughed more than I intended to, more than I feel comfortable with admitting, to be honest. Like, but I think that has something to do with the perspective of I was trying to keep the Alec perspective of why it was funny. And so that worked. Like, so I think I have a new way to watch some movies that I'm like, oh, I don't know if I'm gonna like this movie. But overall, like I still can't. I can't. This it was rough, dude. Like I spent of the hour and a half. There's like 50 to 60 minutes that I'm like, this movie sucks. It's so when an hour and a half feels longer than Oppenheimer, like we have a problem. And it did. Like I clicked on the screen one time and went, God, it's only half over. Fuck. So yeah, it's a little rough. The humor is dumb. When it works phenomenally. Jack Black is a fucking hero. And so were some of those kids. They were funny. And yeah, Anna de la Reguera, she's great. I always think she's Penelope Cruz, though. Every movie she's in, I'm like, oh, look, it's Penelope. Oh, that's not her. It's ridiculous how much she looks like. So for like 20 minutes, I thought that was Penelope Cruz. I'm like, they got Penelope Cruz in this movie too? Jesus. Then I went, oh, no. That's the girl from, I know her from the Adam Sandler movie, Spanglish. She's in that one too. Anyway, I'm gonna give this movie a 2. It's been hard for me to like. I've been back and forth between a 2 and a 3, a 2.5. Look, it's funny, and the funny saves it because when I laughed to the point that I hurt. But the rest of it's hard to get through. Like this is one of those ones that I get on YouTube and watch clips just to giggle of the best parts. But I don't know that I'll ever watch. In fact, I can guarantee I'll never watch this movie from start to finish again, unless somebody was like, I'm watching it right now and you're going to stay here. And I'm like, God damn it. But that's it. Even Casey was like, no, you're on your own for this one. So yeah, there it is. 2. Yeah, in fact, I was telling her, I was like, I got to watch these 3 movies tonight. So I went through them and she's like, what are the other 2 movies? So I told her, I was like, A Knight's Tale is one of them. And then I was like, and then Fool's Gold, you like that one because you like McConaughey. And then she's like, well, what's the last one? I was like, you're not going to want to watch that one. She goes, well, what is it? I was like, Nacho Libre. It's just not enough fucking money in the world. She goes, you are on your own. And I'm like, God damn it. Okay. So yeah, there it is. So 2 from me. Great choice for the topic. You win. Your turn.
All right. We never really talked about if we're going to rate them differently because, like we've been talking about, if it's like guilty pleasure and that's the bar, this is a 10.
That's fair.
Out
True.
of 5.
True.
But if we're still going to keep on with the cinematic like experience and whether it's a good movie or not, that might be something we ask Charles, or any other listeners who want to chime in. But as far as like good movie goes, it's not. Like, I mean, I love it, but it is not a good movie in any way, shape, or form. And it, like, I hate railing on the guy because I actually like all the movies that he's done, but Jared Hess has a very specific style.
Sure.
And it is the worst, but it works for the movies that he does. And it's like I think all of his movies that he has put out are extremely low budget. They look like they're extremely low budget. They feel extremely low budget, but somehow they make money. So, I mean, maybe some Hollywood studios could take a little page out of his book, spend a little bit more, make a better story, but you don't have to put out these huge budget movies.
Yeah.
But I mean, as it's been apparent for any poor soul who's had to listen to this and not see, I've been laughing the entire time, like ugly laughing because I enjoy this movie so much. I'm going to give it a 3 just because I know it's terrible, but I love it. And every single time that I watch it, it makes me happy. So it's a 3. and that's a very like more like a 2.75, but we round up here, so it's a 3. I will definitely be watching it again.
Sure.
But I take a little bit longer in watches through. Like I can't watch this, same time twice in a month, or even twice in a 6-month period. But when I put it on, it's always a good time. So yeah, that's a 3 for me, but it's a very, very, very generous 3.
Yeah. Well, I think you bring up a good point, right? Like, it's a 3 from a cinematic critique, but I mean, it's a fucking 10 out of 10 for a guilty pleasure. Like, if you love this movie to the point that I can tell, like, Alec loves this movie in that way, like, this is a top-notch guilty pleasure. Like, because I've never felt, that's not true. It's rare that I feel as guilty laughing and having a good time as I did during moments of this movie. So I think this is like, if we're taking the month's worth of movies that we're doing this round of guilty pleasures, I'm sure we'll do more guilty pleasures in the future. But because now that I know the bar, I got some. Oh, you have little faith. I got some shitty fucking taste.
You don't want this smoke, JJ.
That's fair. You were probably being kind with this particular movie, even. So that I won't lie. You frighten me when it comes to this topic, but I might sneak attack you on a couple. And if you want that to happen, here's my shameless plug. Go to fucking Patreon
and vote on it.
Vote on topics when they come out. Right now, there's 3 different topics, or there's 1 vote right now for the next 3 months worth of topics. So if you want to get in on that shit,
that's the place to do it.
Go do it Patreon. So yeah. Yeah, this was fun. I like this month. It's been good times, both movies so far. So I'm excited. There's still 2 more. And with that, in fact, Alec, tell everyone where they can find us.
You're gonna hate me because here comes my Nacho themed plug.
Oh God.
Well, I'm not gonna do the accent though because I don't want to come off Russian.
That's
well, it's time to bid farewell to another Fantastico episode podcast adventure. Remember, life is like a luchador wrestling match, full of ups, downs, and unexpected flips. But if there's one thing we learned, it's that passion and determination can conquer even Ramses, who's the best. Before we part ways, and a special shout out to our wonderful patron, Secret Invasion Seasons 2, 3, and 4. Thank you for your continued support and the fun you add to the pod. Yay. Join us on Patreon for exclusive content and to get involved in the voting process like we just talked about. And with that, I will say adios for now. Keep those stretchy pants ready, my friends. And remember, when life throws a challenge your way, just shout, Encarnacion! Now back to the King of Crash, the great Bambino, a JJ.
I love it. Oh, shit. This guy and his freaking Patreon names.
That was a long one. It took me like a minute to type it out.
Yeah, Secret Invasion Seasons 2, 3, and 4. That's funny. Yeah, there's a lot of fun stuff on Patreon, including Alec peeing himself a little bit watching the Exorcist Believer trailer. So that one's funny.
A little bit? A lot of it.
I got another one for him today after we're done recording.
Oh no, it appears I have developed a sickness. Oh dear.
Well, with that, before Alec's sickness gets out of hand and he can't record the next 2 episodes with me, we appreciate you tuning in as always. We'll catch you on the next one.
Hasta la vista, baby. It's not so good to say it that way.
That one, like, it fits.
Whoa!